Hey out there, welcome to the Cultural Corner. Here we'll bring to light cultural issues you may not be aware of, or issues that you may think don't concern you, but you and I both know the proverbial chicken will soon come home to roost. My goal will be to inform you and to stir up some honest debate, so don't be shy about making comments, telling me where I'm right, and heaven forbid, telling me where I'm wrong. So, let's get to the first edition of I just put my sunglasses on. Looks like I'm looking at the camera when I'm really looking at what I'm trying to say on my computer here. I learned that from a fellow called Casey Neistat. He has over 3 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. Check Casey out, you'll like him. Anyway, let's get back to the Cultural Corner. Just when you think things might be getting better, something comes up that throws all this positive feeling stuff out the window. Have you ever heard of colorism? Now I gotta be honest with you, I never heard of colorism until recently it became a cultural issue. What is colorism? It's basically racism within a race. Yep, that's right. People with a particular race hate other people within that race because they are a lighter version of that race. I think that makes sense, doesn't it? Now, if we take colorism to the extreme, and if the old saying is true that blondes have more fun, then blondes would be considered color privileged by brunettes. You know, it's been known for years that blonde privilege is rampant in our society. They have more dates than brunettes, men hang around a blonde woman's desk at work more often, and they always get bigger pay raises and better jobs. And of course, their kids are at all times cuter. I mean, really, who wants to cuddle a brunette baby? I suggest blonde colorism is a real issue that Congress needs to have hearings about and put forth legislation that would punish blondes who refuse to darken their hair. I also think it's a good thing that Sweden is immigrating so many African Muslims. Maybe after a couple of generations of intermarriage, there will be no more Swedish blondes plaguing the world with their blonde privilege. Okay, let's get back to the issue at hand. There are rumors that Will Smith, the actor, might be in the running to play Richard Williams in an upcoming movie. Now, who is Richard Williams? He is the father and coach of the Williams sisters, the champion tennis players. The problem with Will is that his skin isn't dark enough to play Richard because Richard's skin is much darker than Will's. Or, the way it's being played by the colorist is that Will's skin is too light to play the part of Richard, and that, my friends, is colorism. So, here we have two very successful men at their own game. Will, a successful actor, and Richard, a successful coach and father, and apparently one has too much privilege to stand in for the other. Now, this isn't the first time colorism has raised its ugly head in Hollywood. The BBC reported, and I quote, "The casting of Zoe Saldana, a light-skinned actor of Puerto Rican and Dominican descent, as the African-American civil rights activist and musician Nina Simone in 2016 sparked similar criticism," unquote. Now, let's get down to the underlying cultural issue of colorism. It is the evil forces. Yes, I said the E word. It's the evil forces of the world dividing us, pitting one race against another, one ethnic group against another, one language group against another, and this has been going on ever since time began. It started with Cain and Abel, one brother against another brother. Yes, they were real blood brothers. One brother against another brother because one had more privilege than the other. It all comes down to the fact that human beings are never content with who they are. They are always resentful of someone else who they think has more privilege than they do, and they'll go to any extreme to level the playing field. They will run their health into the ground with bleaching creams. They will castigate and demean others who are working hard to get ahead. And of course, they will use the muckrakers to exaggerate the issue. It's not enough for the left that blacks hate whites and whites hate blacks, so they'd like us to think. Personally, I don't see that kind of hate being played out in the world today. The vast majority of people are living Martin Luther's vision of judging people by their character and not by the color of their skin. What that means is, if you're a dirtbag lowlife, I don't care what color your skin is, I don't like you. But, as I was saying, one race pitted against another is not enough for the leftists. They now want to pit people within their own race against each other. You see, the left, to the embarrassment of the right, fully understands that to divide is to conquer. For the left, hate is a winner. Not sure what the prize is, but they do consider hate as a winner. Now, once we are fully divided, here comes the left with their artificial promises of unity. They'll tell us if we'll only let them hold our hands, they'll lead us down the primrose path to utopia. What's the answer? Well, the answer is up to you as an individual. For me and my wife, I found the cure for colorism. She's been using L'Oreal Ash Blonde for years. I just ditched her last bottle and bought her a bottle of dark brunette. Her blonde privilege days had been taken away forever, and no longer will other men be hanging around oogling her hair in front of their wives. Thus the wives will no longer have a reason not to like my wife. The only thing I can tell you for sure is take a word, put ism on the end of that word, then take it to the extreme, and I promise you it won't be goodism. Hey, thanks for listening. See you next time at the Culturalism Corner. I didn't say culturalism, did I? Nah, I'm sure I didn't. Bye now.